Hello everyone, Michael with Quiet Lawn here. I wanted to bring you a quick update on our business, Quiet Lawn. As you know, we added a pest control. Well, actually, we split off our business into two divisions last year. We have Quiet Lawn that does the mowing and landscaping, and we have the new brand that we did for the pest control side and the lawn treatment side called Neon Pest Lawn. So we have Quiet Lawn that does the mowing and landscaping. Neon Pest Lawn that does the treatment side, treating lawns, fertilization, weed control, and also doing pest control in people's homes. So business is good. Last year we shrunk. I think I mentioned to you guys late in last year that we were going to have the first year that we actually shrunk. Our business went from doing, I think, 520 something thousand in 2023, and we dipped down to 450s or something like that last year. Part of that was just because the economy was turning, inflation, the business was kind of declining a bit. But part of it is because we were starting to phase out mowing, which I've talked about in videos for several reasons. So because of that stuff, because of consolidating our mowing routes, because of just, overall, conditions in the economy, our business shrunk a little bit. This year, we're right on track with what we did last year. It really depends on Christmas lights. We did cancel another big commercial contract, Christmas light contract, that ended last year. That's about a $50,000 job. It was just too much hassle to deal with them. It wasn't worth the money. So we ended that contract, or we decided not to renew that contract after last year. So, if we as long as we can replace that or get close, we'll be right on track with what we did last year. I will say that although the business has shrunk a little bit these last couple of years, I will say that things have gotten much better. We're much more efficient. Our staff is amazing. Our team, like Ibrahim and all of our office staff, all of the admin, the sales team, those guys are doing awesome. Our guys in the field, which only consists of two people right now. We have Tony, who's our manager, who's fantastic. He does all the pest control, all the lawn treatments. And then we have somebody that does the full-time mowing, Justin. We only have two guys in the field doing, almost $500,000 a year. So the amount of revenue that we generate per employee is like probably double what your average is in the lawn care industry. So we've gotten very efficient with the resources that we have. Part of that is proper pricing, efficient routing, and having tight routes, good route density. But also a lot of that is having just an amazing support staff on the back end. Ibrahim and all those guys. They do everything. They do everything but mow the grass. They do all the customer support. They do all the marketing and sales, closing the leads, everything. They do everything. Social media, website, SEO, everything, literally everything but the actual cutting of the grass. They hire, they run ads, they hire people, they do all that stuff. So that's all running very, very good. Our business, more and more, we're transitioning towards the treatment side, the pest control, the fertilization, weed control. We did decide, I told you guys last year that we were not going to mow anymore, and we were getting rid of mowing last year. We decided to keep it one more year, just because it's, at that time it was still $150,000 to $175,000 of revenue. It was still, a good third or more of our revenue. So, since we'd already taken a big hit last year, probably a 10 to 15% hit in our revenue, we decided to try to keep mowing at least one more year so that we could continue to replace that revenue with pest control. I will say we still have all the problems that we have with mowing. It's a pain in the butt. You have vehicle issues, you have equipment issues, you have staffing issues. But I will say we've gotten a lot better at managing all that. And, it might just be because I personally haven't been involved much and I don't have to deal with this stuff. But, we've just gotten better systems at finding employees, at understanding that they're probably going to leave 2 or 3 times throughout the season for whatever reason, and that we need to have a good system to hire somebody else and replace them. equipment. We've had vehicles break down. I've got one of our Priuses that the engine blew in it, that after I put a bunch of money into it. You just got all those same inherent issues, but it's been a lot smoother this year than it has in previous years. I still want to get rid of mowing. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm looking at either selling the quiet lawn part of the business and focusing on Neon, or subcontracting out all those lawns, because it is as far as the mowing business goes, it's very profitable. Our one-man crew goes out in a Toyota Prius every day and generates between $600 and $800, sometimes more, in a normal 7-8 hour workday. So that's pretty insane compared to most mowing operations. It's just when you compare it to fertilization and weed control or pest control, where you can have one technician go out there with a lot less equipment and generate 1,000 to 1,500 a day. It just doesn't make sense to continue to do the mowing, especially with all the headaches that come along with it, and just the physicality of the work. It's much more physical than than the treatment side. And that really goes into the employee thing. With a fertilization, weed control, and pest control, I can keep an employee for years. Like, the only real turnover I have is with the mowing position, because it's just so physically hard, especially here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where we've had heat indexes of like 110, 115 degrees these last couple weeks. It's just miserably hot, and it just beats people down physically. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at now. What do we want to do with mowing? Like, do we want to try to sell it? If you're in the South Carolina area and you're an owner operator, or you're interested, I'd be looking to, I'd be interested in selling it if anybody's looking for something like that. It is a good business, especially if you're an owner operator, or you got yourself and your brother, or you want to have a nice little business where you can make a nice income, take the winters off. It is a good business. But for me, as someone who doesn't want to be involved in the business, doesn't want to have to fool with all the complexity that comes along with a mowing operation, of having to constantly replace equipment or find staff. Like, if you're going to do it yourself, it's a good little thing. But I'd rather have something that is a lot more hands-off, like the fertilization, weed control, and the pest control. But that's kind of where we are. As far as with quiet lawn, also, we have been focusing on our other business. It was called the Green Helpers, but we rebranded it to Service Simplify. That is the side of our business where we offer everything that Ibrahim and his team does virtually. Basically everything but the mowing. We offer that to other businesses, in the lawn care industry. These last couple of years, we've taken on, I think we have like 8 other companies that we take care of, and really that was kind of beta testing for us. We wanted to see kind of what the common problems were across other lawn care businesses, what owners were. We wanted to build out some automations, build out some little apps and other technological things that could improve those businesses. And luckily, like, those have had a huge transformative impact on those other businesses that we were working with, and they've grown substantially because of that. So we were kind of experimenting with that, kind of seeing what we wanted to offer, how we wanted to package it, how we could help the most with other businesses, because I know what it did for my business, and I knew that it would be able to do the same for other businesses. So now that we've kind of figured that out, we've kind of dialed in the specific things that we can do and how we can help, and all those automations and technology solutions that we've kind of made and catered to small lawn care businesses, pest control businesses. Now we're really trying to push that out and start to add more customers to that. So the name of that business is Service Simplify. We call it that because we basically simplify your service business. So myself, I'm very fortunate. I do not have to be involved in my business whatsoever. It's completely ran by the field staff and by the office back end. Like, Ibrahim and those guys literally do everything, and there's no reason they can't step in and do it for you. We have packages starting at $4.99 per month. And if you're just a smaller business, you're just getting started, you're under $150,000 in revenue, and we have a couple of other packages that grow as far as grow with your business. But that's servicesimplified.com if you're interested in that. That's the other thing I've been focusing on. But I am excited to get involved with the industry again. I've been thinking about going to a Quip Expo this year. I haven't been in a couple years. I kind of boycotted them because they stopped allowing children to go. I did see this year that kids 12 and above can go, and my oldest son is old enough to go. So I've always wanted to take him. I haven't been able to. So I'm hoping that this year I can show up to a Quip and hopefully meet some people. But please catch me up on what's going on with you in the comments. Please let me know any questions, any ideas for videos, any way I can help. It's just nice to be talking to everyone again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.